to wakesetGO. This is your host, Mercedes, and I'm excited about the upcoming episodes that we will have for 2024 as the vision is all about mindfulness and setting up some mindset training as well. The next episode that we're going to listen to is featuring a friend of mine, Leon, who is one of my yoga pals. And I just think it's great when you can let the law of attraction work where you're finding people in your community, in your circle of friends, and you're able to also connect on just what brings you happiness and can hopefully inspire others to do the same. And so what brings me happiness is being able to have balance in life and actually do hobbies. And hobbies are something that I don't think it's credit enough for contributing to one's happiness in life. It actually is something that a lot of successful people take pride in doing and having. So feel free to listen in on it, take notes, and just think about what hobbies you probably want to experience and do next. And whatever it is that you decide your goal is, or your wake set go, it could be go play soccer or go ride a mountain bike. Whatever it is, just make sure that you're having fun. Just make sure you're enjoying it. And hopefully it brings you the clarity and focus that you need to get to the next level. Stay tuned.
It's time to wake, set, go. Charge up the CEO in you with our motivational podcast geared towards helping you optimize and strategize your ideas into actionable results. With your host, Mercedes Allen, featuring guests from various industries from marketing, technology, and legal.
Wake Set Go is not just for the CEOs or the bosses. It's also for everyday people, because everybody is in charge of themselves, of their decisions. And I think as long as we have those perspectives and thoughts in mind, then there's no telling how far we can go and elevate to the next level. And it all starts with your mental. It all starts with stillness and what you tell yourself every day, affirmations. And Wake Set Go is pretty much an affirmation in itself. And it's not just, like I said before, for a certain type of person. It is for the person that wants to get better, to gain clarity, to gain focus. And that's what it's all about, the brand, which I'm wearing today. So if you guys want to shop wakesetgo.co, you can, and pick up some merch. And Leon, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, I don't want to hog the conversation, but I feel like we got to warm up. We got to do a little bit of,
Right. Yeah.
It's your first time on a podcast ever in life.
Ever. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. How does it feel?
Like any normal conversation.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what a podcast is. It's like having a conversation. Mm-hmm. And I know some of the episodes or some of the times when I'm talking to everybody, it's just like talking on the phone, but you're mic'd up and you're recording it and you're consistently putting out content. So, yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not your typical guest, right? Everybody you've talked to has been pretty much more or less successful. I'm further from that.
You are successful. No. It's all about what you're telling yourself. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. We're still working on Leon.
I'm working on it. I'm working on being the successful person that I want to be in 2024.
I love that. I concur.
Yep.
I'll drink to that. So, in some podcasts, I know normally they have, their beverage or choice. Mm-hmm. But on Wake Set Go, when we're doing in person, because I know with COVID, a lot of the episodes and all of them were virtual. But when you're in person, we're doing tea. Yes. We're drinking tea. Mm-hmm. We're surrounded by plants. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what the episode is just about. Is about not necessarily what you do for work, what you do for a living. Because I know a lot of times people make what they do for a living their personality.
Right.
Because I know what you do for a living, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. Yeah. Like, I know you can talk all day about computers, technology, whatever. But
that's the boring stuff.
Yeah, that's the boring stuff.
Yeah.
And you're more to, yourself than that.
Yeah, I am more about fun rather than work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you should be. I think it's all about balance. And that's what I like to, notate myself even for 2024 is that, what you do in a career, yeah, that pays your bills.
Yeah.
But what do you do outside of that job? Like,
Exactly.
what are your hobbies pretty much? And that's what the episode is about wake, set, go. Do some hobbies. We all need hobbies.
Exactly.
It's important,
Yeah.
to do stuff that you're not getting paid for, that not feel like you're being forced to do, but that you simply enjoy doing.
Exactly. I think it nourishes a piece of you that is, just innately human. I think all these hobbies, what they tend to do is they bring out the best in you, like your creativity, your empathy, being compassionate. Like for instance, I have a bunch of animals, and I feel like that nourishes my soul.
Yeah, those animals are featured on our episode today.
Yes.
I don't know where the other animal is,
Yeah.
but I think that really speaks to me. And I think also being a yogi and doing hobbies and things like that shows that you're mentally trying to get better. I feel like everybody that's in yoga kind of has the same intentions. Like they know or have a grasp of self-awareness and knowing what your body needs and how it's easy to get overwhelmed just from the day-to-day instances of life. So how did you come on that self-discovery path of finding yoga, finding plants, finding like certain hobbies, and what are some of your favorite hobbies that you just like doing and exploring?
Gotcha. Well, to start off, like me being thrown into this world of yoga, it was actually all happenstance. Like, I think I was just coming out of a bad relationship, and I just, new job, new apartment, new life, and I just wanted to find a way to, just go out there, just to see what's out there and to see what I'm interested in. So my friend Marta, who also works with me, introduced me to yoga, and after their very first session, I just felt like, I belong here. These are my people. Like everybody was just so calm and accepting, and like I needed that environment. So after that, after being into yoga, being more into fitness, feeding the mind and the body, I feel like being in a relationship for so long, I have not, nourished that part of myself that needed some sort of peace, some sort of, like my identity was lost. So I was just like, okay, what was I into whenever I was a kid that I really enjoyed, And I realized, okay, I like animals, I like plants, I like all those things. So as you can see around me, I have a lot of plants in my living space, and also have an aquarium. I have a dog and a cat, and this place just makes me feel like very much at peace.
Like your inner child is pretty much just happy. Yes. And I think that's just so funny because I know growing up as a kid, I loved art, I loved drawing, I loved making and creating things. And so whenever I find myself doing creative things and making stuff, and even if it's just playing around with some kind of graphic tool just for fun, I just feel like it speaks to that inner child. And whenever you're doing things that are playful, that are fun, that are just you just goofing off, it just makes you happy.
Exactly.
And I hate that so many times people feel like because they're an adult or because they're growing up that they have to act like a grown up. Like you have to wear these business suits all the time, which I know we all go through those phases. And I remember wearing blazers all the time and just feeling like super corporate, but it also rips at your personality because it's not you.
Yeah, you're being someone that you're not.
Yeah, you're trying so hard to fit in instead of embracing yourself, embracing your uniqueness and who you are as an individual, which is pretty much, I mean, we all have our quirks and differences about us, and that's what makes her special, because if we're all just like this perfect word-of-line systems, I mean, pretty much we're just a robot then at that point. Like there's no humanness to it. So I really love that. So what are some of like your favorite like hobbies or things when, I know you said about your living space and about the plants and about the animals, but what are some other like hobbies or like that you find yourself doing or exploring, or are there any new hobbies you're trying to get into or open to trying this year? Or
I'm naturally a curious person, so my hobbies just depends on what I'm feeling at the moment. Plants might not be here next year, but we'll see. We'll see if they're still alive after this. But I've been getting more into music because I used to play a lot of music whenever I was in college and before that. And now because of the corporate world, because it's exhausting, right? And you're trying to find time to go back into the things that you love. And I feel like playing music that really resonates with me. Like listening to music and then also making music, it just hits a different piece of my soul.
I'm waiting for your comeback, and I think you getting on YouTube, having a page, playing your ukulele. Like the world out here, they don't know who I'm sitting talking with because I didn't really do a full intensive introduction either about who you were, but I know like you come from a past life of being an international renowned chef as well as a music star. So you're just very modest, which I'm just like, okay, you work a corporate job, you do yoga, you have plants and pets, but also you were a chef. And you also play music internationally.
Yeah,
so,
well, I would say I'm more of like a jack of all trades than like just a master of anything. Like I just dabble in a lot of things.
And you're able to hack codes too. You're able to break codes and things like that too.
That's thanks to Locky Picking Lawyer on YouTube. So I like tinkering around. I'm just, like I said, I'm a natural curious person. So I like to go into things where I'm not like feeling comfortable with. Like I even took up tango lessons this past summer. Yeah, currently I think I have a full plate of hobbies right now because that's been keeping me busy and keeping me sane. But I do like to, like I said, with the tango thing, like I tried it. I tried my best. I attended every week, and I just was not enjoying it because it was stressful for me. Learning to be uptight and holding my posture and like trying not to step on the person's toes the entire time. So, but that's just depending upon the person, right? Your hobbies just depend on your taste and how far you're willing to go, how you're comfortable with it. So I wasn't comfortable with it, so I just moved on. And then, here I am with plants and animals and music. And I think I might be interested in more things, but we'll see where that takes me.
How much money do you think a person should dedicate to their hobby? Or what do you think is kind of doing too much when it comes to a hobby? Do you think it should be expensive, or do you find yourself doing things that are free?
It can be dependent upon the person, right? So there's a lot of hobbies that you can do for free. There's hiking. Hiking is free. Running, walking, those are free as well. And it just depends on the amount of resources that you want to pour into your hobby. Like, that just depends on your income. That just depends on how much you're willing to put into your hobby. But you can feel very satiated just from not spending any money. You can look at it that way. But I think it all just depends on the person.
Right. I think that gives the guests and the listeners out there an idea of what to get started on or how to find a hobby and what to do, because I think with also budgeting and trying to financially plan for the year, hobbies are essential, and it enriches us. And so I've talked to other friends that are doing their careers. They're too busy to pretty much have hobbies, or they feel like they're too busy to have hobbies. But like you said, those examples about hiking, it's free. Sometimes you can go in the morning or after work, and you can also meet other people that are hikers. Or how do you feel like is the best way for people to discover hobbies or discover groups or people to do these things with and create that community with?
I say just go out there. Just take a chance. Like for me with yoga, I just took up my friend's offer just to show up to yoga, and look where I am right now. And yoga is free, right? So we go every 2 times a week for free.
There's just so much to do other than just work. Just like I know I had a conversation with my niece who goes to school, obviously. And when you're in school and in school age, you find things to do. Like you're always like playing or finding games to play. And I feel like that's why like a lot of adults who see them like they're doing video games, which you can get paid now for streaming and doing video games. And I think it's great when you have those creative outlets of things to put that energy towards versus things that can be harmful to you, where it can be poison, it can be toxic, which doesn't help you as a human to nurture what it is that you do in your career, to have the brain and the focus and the connection to kind of get that done and continuing it. So
Yeah,
I think
I believe games are very important. You know, like even if it doesn't have anything to do with a job, it keeps your mind, you know, fit. You know, like for me, being interested and being involved in other aspects, being creative, you know, it helps me with my current job, being in IT, because it helps me think outside the box. It helps me like exercise my brain to, you know, handle the day-to-day tasks.
And this is just for a little bit of inspiration for those out there that are thinking, oh, in order for me to be successful, I need to just focus on work all the time. Where actually, here are some successful people that actually have hobbies. So Richard Branson, he plays chess. He's well known. He's a Virgin Group founder, but this is one of his favorite hobbies, and it's far more of a mental activity for him. And having, you know, the chess skills, I feel like allows for stimulating conversations. I hear everybody that plays chess, pretty much they're very good at thinking. It's a good brain activity. Sundar, he watches and plays cricket. He's the Alphabet CEO, and he played in high school, and that is really, really interesting. And I think in an interview, they said that he recently picked up pizza making and learning how to make food from scratch online. So that's another great hobby too. We didn't cover was cooking. I actually enjoy looking up recipes. It may not always come out like the recipes online, but that is also another fun hobby. And another hobby I've started doing, and I'm going to get back to the other people, but hey, I need to share my hobbies too. All right. So is yoga. We have yoga, but also bike riding. I think that a part of my inner child enjoys when I'm just riding my bike outside and just enjoying fresh air. It just makes me feel like the biggest kid ever. And also I'm getting my exercise, because sometimes walking and running can get a little boring for me. So riding my bike also like makes me happy and active and stimulated. So, all right, moving along. Bill Gates, he plays bridge. He also loves playing tennis and spending time with his kids as a favorite pastime. Jack Dorsey, you know, he was the CEO of Twitter. He enjoys hiking. So that's interesting. Meryl Streep. She knits. That's like rolls off the tongue kind of bad. Kate Middleton, she colors. George W. Bush. This is one I didn't know. He paints.
Yeah, apparently they're very good.
And let's see, the Bridgewater Associates founder, Ray, he practices transcendental meditation. That's interesting. Tom Hanks, he collects vintage typewriters. And an interesting one I got to go back and find was Warren Buffett. And this one is surprising. He actually plays the ukulele. Angelina Jolie, not surprising, she collects weapons and knives with her family. And let's see, Oprah Winfrey reads. Again, not surprising. She actually has a book club. Michelle Obama, she runs. And I mean, you can just see how a lot of these hobbies, like just going through it, just pretty much plays into why they're successful and what gets them going and how they want to help others succeed and be active. Because I remember when Obama was in office, Michelle Obama was doing a lot of activities with kids and with sports. And so the fact that she runs as a hobby shows that she wants to stay healthy, and health is wealth pretty much. So this part of wakesetGO, normally what I do at the end when I'm with guests is I will ask them things that they do like during their day or like a part of their routine that they feel like wakes them up or charges them up. So let me know like if you feel like sharing part of your day or like what a typical day is like or how you get your day going or things that you do that you feel like keep you charged up.
Yeah, so I feel like I have no choice because Apollo wakes me up first thing in the morning because he's always hungry. So I always have something to take care of because, you know, he has needs. and I have to make sure that his needs are met, with food
Right.
and also walking too. Like walking is a very important thing for me. So I always make sure to walk him at least, an hour a day, bare minimum, because he needs that. He's an older dog, so he needs all his walk time. He needs to stimulate his senses, stimulate his brain. So in turn, that also benefits me. Yeah, it stimulates me. I get to go out there. I get to be in the moment. I get to just meditate on the things and look at what I'm going to do for the rest of the day and what are the things I can look inside and to work on myself. All this while I'm just walking.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think that's great points to make as far as with, staying charged up, getting a walk in, stimulating yourself, stimulating your brain. And I also want to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule and day to meet and be on wakesetGO. And hopefully this isn't your last time stopping by. I mean,
well, technically you're stopping by because it's my place.
Okay. This is the time where we're supposed to cut. It's a wrap. But no, I really do appreciate you for taking the time. And I also want to say I appreciate you listeners out there for taking the time out and checking out wakesetGO and hearing what I have to say and what others that I bring on have to say. And hopefully it does charge up the CEO in you and recharges you, because as I wanted to bring Leon on, for example, is to show that, hey, you don't have to be this Bill Gates.
You have to be successful.
You are successful. But the key to being successful is to have things that charge you up. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in.